As a parent, what length would you go to for your kids? You know, I've talked to a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of men on this show. And usually when it comes to custody battle, it's always the man who loses the battle to the mother. But on rare occasions, there are times when the mother actually loses the battle. And this is what my next guest is here to talk to you about. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of 2.0. I am so happy you've decided to join us. Listen, if you're a returning member of the 2.0 family, I just want to thank you for tuning in. We appreciate the love and support. And if you're someone who's just strolling by and you came across our videos and you were checking it out to see what it's all about, we appreciate it. I'd like to extend an invitation to you right now to go ahead and hit the subscribe button and become part of the 2.0 family. And don't forget, once you do that, also hit the notification bell so that every time we drop an episode, you, my friend, will be notified so you can come in and check it out. As we said, sometimes in rare occasions, a mother would actually lose the custody battle. So this is what my next guest is here to talk to you about. So it is my pleasure to welcome my new friend to the set of 2.0 tonight, the beautiful Erin. Hey, Erin, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to 2.0.
Thank you. I love the name.
Oh, thank you. So thanks for, taking the drive, right? How was the drive coming up here?
It wasn't bad.
No?
A little bit of, rush hour, but it wasn't awful.
Okay.
So
But it sounds like you don't, you don't mind driving anyways, right?
I don't.
No.
No.
Okay.
So it took me a little bit. That
Yeah.
first, especially driving through the city, that took a lot of courage. I'm
Gotcha.
from Alaska. There's not, traffic is, no, we
Yeah.
don't have traffic. New
Got
York
it.
City traffic is should be legal.
Oh, no, yeah, trust me. I've lived in New York for a while, so I know what the traffic is like. Yeah, but listen, let's get it right into it. So it's so interesting that I came across one of your videos on TikTok, and I happened to go onto your page, and I check out a few more videos, and I heard your story, and I was like, oh, okay, I think there's something there. So I reach out, and then I have to thank you for graciously accept to be part of the 2.0 to share your story. So we appreciate it. So let's start with, you mentioned Alaska. So this is where you're from. Is that where you were born?
I was born in Illinois.
Okay.
My mom's a nurse, and she got a job in Alaska,
Okay.
Kotzebue, Alaska, to be exact, which is arguably 33 miles above the Arctic Circle.
Oh,
So,
wow.
remote village.
Okay.
I moved up there when I was eighth grade.
Eighth grade. Okay.
Yeah. So, starting high school, it was a huge transition. But
Wow.
I spent the majority of, almost 30 years up there.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
Alaska's home. I've been in New York for 6 years now.
Okay.
Still getting used to it. It's not bad. It's just
Yeah.
different. It's different.
Okay.
Alaska's very slow.
Yeah, that's
New
what I hear.
York is crazy.
Yeah, it's like you're coming from one extreme to the next, right? Like super slow, but in New York, it's like everything is fast paced.
Yeah. And I got here 3 months before COVID hit.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was people say that I'll never really get the true experience
Yeah.
of New York.
Right, because a
'Cause
lot has changed ever since.
yeah. So
Wow.
I'm the aftermath, I guess.
Okay. So what was the experience like in Alaska?
Alaska, it was amazing growing up there. It's just different, very different. Our transportation where I lived was four-wheelers and snow machines.
Wow.
There were cars, but it wasn't,
Barely used.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's mostly I drove a four-wheeler to get to high school.
Oh my God.
That's that's just normal. That's normal. Snow machines in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So it was a different experience. And then, my son's favorite story is when I say, I took a dog team. One of my friends, his dad did the Iditarod.
Okay.
And when they would be running the dogs in the morning, they would come by us and, do you want to ride to school? And we would jump in the back of the dog sled. And that's how I got to school.
Oh, wow.
And my son's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But no cell phones. We had dial-up internet.
Yeah.
Different. The days and nights I didn't realize how much the nighttime affected me until I moved to New York.
Really?
Yeah, I moved to New York November 2019, and in January, I'm like, why do I have so much energy? What's going on? Like, I just have so much energy.
Yeah.
And it was the sun,
Oh,
because the majority of the time it's dark when you're
gotcha.
in Alaska. So, but it's not bad. It's just different. It's very, you really have to enjoy nature, the outdoors. Skiing, snowboarding,
Yeah.
sledding, hunting, fishing, all the outdoor stuff. There's,
Gotcha.
like where I grew up, it was 3,500 people. So there was no bowling alleys,
Oh,
there's no
wow.
McDonald's.
What?
There, yeah, it's,
So
yeah,
everybody knows each other.
everybody knows each other and they know what you had for dinner and they know what you can have for breakfast too.
Wow, that's amazing. So how did you cope with the cold? Sounds like it wasn't a problem for you.
It, it's just kind of one that you just get used to it.
Yeah.
The first time that it snowed for me, because Illinois had snow, but not like Alaska. And the
Right.
first time it snowed, I showed up in the full like snow pants,
Yeah, yeah.
boots,
Yep.
covered, looked like the little boy off of A Christmas Story. And my classmates are like,
What's wrong with you?
what? Because a teenager, you don't wear snow pants.
Oh,
Like, what? That's not cool. You don't do
really?
that. Yeah. I'm like shoving all this into my locker, completely embarrassed, humiliated. Like, I don't have any friends. I'm literally the only white girl at this high school. It was mostly Alaska natives.
Gotcha.
So it was different. It took a while to get used to it. But then it's like once you have that title of cool,
Right.
oh, I'm not wearing snow pants.
Yeah.
My mom's like, I'm not wearing snow pants.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
not happening.
Yeah. Things have changed.
So you just say Kotzebue is different than Anchorage. Anchorage, I say, is very comparable to like on a cold, windy day when you're in the city.
Okay.
When you're walking in the city and it's like that cold hits your bones,
Right.
that's Alaska cold.
Gotcha.
So there's like, even out on Long Island, where by the water, it's that wind.
Similar to that.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's just longer in Alaska.
Gotcha.
And then more snow, of
Okay.
course. So,
Gotcha. So let's talk about your story a little bit.
okay.
So at some point, you've grown up and you had a son.
I did. So I had my son when I was 28.
Okay.
I was with my son's father for 4 years.
Okay.
And we broke up when I was pregnant. I was actually 9 months pregnant. And you know how you just have that feeling that something's not right,
Yeah.
and you ignore the feeling, especially when you're pregnant, and you're like, oh no. And then, of course, like I think we need to talk about something, and it's, oh, you're crazy. These
Yeah.
are just the pregnancy hormones.
Right, right,
I'm
right.
not cheating on you. Everything's fine. And when I was 9 months pregnant, I actually caught him.
Wow.
And that was it.
Okay.
I said, we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing this. And about 2 years after that, we had our first custody battle. So growing up, it was just my mom and I. Like, I never had a father role model. I don't know what it's like to have a father role model.
Wait, did you not know your father or?
No,
Okay.
my father actually doesn't know I exist.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he was a truck driver,
Okay.
and him and my mom were dating for a while. I mean, this was in the 80s, and she had found out, she had heard that he was married and had a daughter, and she confronted him, and he confirmed, and she said, bye, we're done. And then a couple of months later, she found out about me
Oh, man.
and went back to try to find him, but he was gone. And, in the 80s, there's,
Yeah. No
how are you
paper
going to
trail.
find somebody? Yeah. So
So you
that's
never the thought to find him never crossed your mind, or
it
you're not
has.
interested, or?
His name is so random. Like,
Okay.
it's very common.
Right.
So I did the thing like when I was in high school. I did a lot of searches. I reached out to people. I just had that. It wasn't even necessarily for me. It's other people like, don't you want to know who your dad
Right.
is?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you've never had that figure, like, you don't really miss
Yeah. You
it.
don't know what you're missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe he's rich. Maybe I do need to find my dad. Like, but I joined like 23andMe
Yeah.
thinking that, oh, maybe he'll pop up. And
Nothing happened.
oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's just one of those things that you just don't know. You don't know if you've never experienced it. Like I see other families, and it's just, I don't know, it's not something that like that hurts to talk about, or
Yeah.
that you know, I don't say miss it. I don't know.
Like when you see, like your friends, girlfriends with their fathers and doing, father daughter things, that doesn't make you feel any type of way.
No.
Gotcha.
I was more affected by like siblings,
Okay.
like my friends having sisters, and even like when they would fight with their siblings,
Yeah.
because it was just me. It's just me and my mom growing up, so it
Gotcha.
was lonely at times. Like you would see, like she's always in my room, and I'm like, must be nice. Must be nice to have somebody always stealing your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, as for I don't know. That's a good thing to probably dive deep in.
Yeah.
Like to journal about to see. But no, there's no like feelings that come up about it.
Okay. So you find out you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my son's father's family own a law firm in Alaska.
Okay.
His aunt is a family attorney, and his uncle was a criminal defense attorney.
Oh wow.
So after the first custody battle, I went in just knowing that I was right. I, first off, you have a man who was lying and cheated on, the mother of his child. And how are you fit to be a role model for our son?
Yeah.
This is also the time where I see it very differently now, but then this was my first time being a mother. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know what to do other than just this urge to protect. And being raised by a manipulative liar, I didn't feel like that was appropriate.
Okay.
But it's also, I I believe that hurt people hurt people. And a lot, like I own my share in the first custody battle, of course. Like I know that went I went the route that I was survival mode, complete survival mode, just trying to protect.
Okay.
And everything that I thought was right, how the courts will say, okay, you have to do these classes,
Yeah.
and these classes teach you about consistency
Yeah.
and routines and how important it is to keep these for your children. And I took it so serious. Like my son, when he was 3 months old, I had him on a routine. I was also in nursing school at the time.
Okay.
So doing my prereqs anyway. But he would go to bed at 7. And even though I would have to get up with him every couple of hours to feed him, I had him on a routine. I made sure, like, I was almost just, I was a helicopter mom.
Okay.
But I was doing what the courts told me I had to do to give me that label of a good parent.
Right.
This is what you need to do to fit that category. And
Right.
as a new mother, of course I'm going to listen to you. You know best. You're the court system.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is what I'm going to do. But it did not benefit me at all.
Gotcha.
At
But
all.
what was the basis of the battle? Is it did you have full custody and he wanted I guess visitation? What?
The first custody battle, he wanted 50-50, but this was, my son was a newborn.
Okay.
And I'm like, he's still breastfeeding. I don't know how we would do 50-50.
Okay.
Like, it just didn't feel right. I don't know how this would work. And the custody battle ended up going out. It was 2 years of back and forth. It was ridiculous. And it ended in 50-50.
Okay.
So it just, there was a lot of, I believe with everything in me that it's all about how much money you have and who you know. So,
That
like
does play a factor.
I had a lot of evidence against him, a lot of proof, and it was just kind of swept under the rug. And at that point, like when the judge has his final say, that's it.
Yeah.
So you just move on.
Okay.
And that was, my son was 2, so that was 2012. And things got okay after that.
Okay.
He got married. I also got married, and we learned how to co-parent together. Things were going really well. And then 2018, like they were going so well that like I called my son's stepmother, one of my best friends. We crafted together. We made jerseys that had my son's name on the back. We showed up at events. Once a month, we would come to my house and just like make plans. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, this is the week your parent, like
Yep.
everything was amazing.
Okay.
And then I got a phone call at work from my son's stepmother, crying hysterically that she found out that he was cheating on her.
Oh, wow.
And that of course, was like PTSD for me. Like
Yeah.
it took me right back to that.
Yep.
What are we going to do? And at that point, my son's father decided, I'm leaving Alaska
Okay.
and I'm going to New York. And we had all talked about relocating. My husband at the time, my ex-husband now, but my husband at the time, his family was from Florida, and we had talked about like how nice it would be to be out of Alaska. It's
Right.
very isolated there. It's a lot just to go on vacation. It's expensive. You can't just drive. Like me driving here tonight,
Yeah, yeah.
you don't do that in Alaska. Like to get out of Alaska, it's a good 4 days to get through Canada.
No
You
way.
just,
Oh,
there's
wow.
no quick little trips. You have
Okay.
to fly everywhere and it adds up. So we had talked about it, but at that point, I had I'd been working as an LPN, and I was still in school for my RN.
Okay.
Nursing school, I took the very long route because the majority of it I did as a single mom. So I did night classes, and then just online, whatever I could do, because childcare it's rough. The struggle is real.
I can imagine.
But my son's father moved to New York, and his wife ended up staying with him, and she followed him.
Okay.
And we couldn't agree on a custody schedule.
Got it.
So
Yeah, because how would that work, right? Because he's in New York, you're in Alaska, and then that 50-50 is not
50-50
it's
is not
ideal.
there.
Yeah.
And what he was like at the time, like when I look at it, part of me just wishes I would have given him what he wanted. Like he wanted, every time my son was out of school or had a holiday, he wanted him.
Okay.
But in my mindset, it's like, well, where's our free time? Like if he's not in school, like I'm not taking him out of school to go on vacation.
Right.
I didn't feel like it was fair. But I also knew what I went through with that first custody battle. And now for the second custody battle, his uncle that was an attorney is now a judge.
Oh.
So I already knew going into it. I'm like, and my husband, my ex-husband, just kept pushing. There's no way that you wouldn't win. There's no way. Look at what we've provided.
Right.
The first custody battle, they labeled me as basically white trash. I was living off the state student loans because I was trying to put myself through nursing school. At one point I was a branch manager. I worked at Wells Fargo for 5 years, worked my way up from a teller to a manager.
Okay.
So the court saw me as she's capable of doing this, but she's choosing not to. She's choosing to be on food stamps. She's
Right.
choosing to live off of student loans.
Okay.
A lot of single moms work and go to college just fine. Why can't you? And in my head, I'm like, are you crazy? There's no way. I don't sleep as it is. But during the second custody battle, I had become a nurse and I was working full time. I was doing very well for myself. We had, an amazing house in a great side of town. South Anchorage is like the bougie area.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it was the best neighborhood because like my son's father decided that our son was going to go to school
In that area.
not where he lived because the school wasn't so good over there.
Okay.
So everything just kind of lined up. Like I had completely changed. I'm a nurse and I'm also going to school right now for my RN. Like we're successful. I've built this amazing, everything that you guys called me the first custody battle, I'm like a completely different version of myself now. There's no way that you're not going to give me custody.
Yeah.
And I had said to my ex at the time, you don't understand what it's like to be on that stand, to have these men in suits just label you and destroy you and just tear you down. Like the amount of just disgust and betrayal that I had in myself after that first custody battle was brutal. Like I think about it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really beat myself up. Like I did not have enough control over my mindset to say, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. Like I am more than enough.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that. I didn't have that then.
Yeah, but you think at the time there was, a lot of emotional the things that was happening because, you had recently just given birth, right?
Yeah.
So it's only been 2 years, so you're still trying to recover from all of that. So
Yeah. So we ended up going through with it and doing the attorneys, and it was like, it's just exhausting. It's so exhausting, and all of our savings went into it. Like at this time before the custody battle, we had the only debt that we had was our mortgage. Everything was paid off. Our cars, everything was paid off. We were doing so amazing. Like I've never had this amount in my savings account.
yeah,
And now all of that is going to go
right,
to attorneys.
yeah. And all of that is because you simply did not want to give up your son during the vacation times or when he's out of school.
Yeah. It's basically like there was no compromising with his father. It's his way or the highway.
Okay.
Like, this is what I want. And it's like, well, what if we do it this way? No, you're going to have him the rest of the year. I should have him. We just couldn't agree.
Okay.
And it was hard because a lot of it wasn't just me. There was a lot of my family, there was my ex-husband, his family.
Yeah.
It goes back to that hurt people hurt
Hurt people,
people.
yeah.
Like you look at everything that he did, what he did to you, what he did to your son's stepmom. Like he doesn't deserve to have that title of a father. And it's like, whether he deserves it or not, he's my son's father.
Right, exactly.
He's gonna have rights regardless. But
Absolutely.
when you're in that fight of, I already knew, like, oh, now he's a judge, he's not an attorney. Like I knew in my gut, I knew it. But this is my son, I have to fight.
Right.
I can't just say, okay, you can have whatever you want. So this time we went to court, and I had, again, there was evidence, of course, that we had against him. But it was all just, none of it mattered.
Wow.
None of it mattered.
Did he have other kids with his wife?
Not at that time.
Oh, okay.
Not at that time. So, and the order was because the judge couldn't label me as an unfit mother. There was nothing that he could say,
Okay.
but he just said, if you relocate to New York, you'll regain 50-50 custody.
Wow.
But if you stay in Alaska,
Then you lose him.
then you lose them.
Wow.
So there was no question to me at all. Like I'm going. I'm moving to New York.
Yeah. But that's crazy. It's almost like they force you to move to New York, right? Because, the father is the one who decided to move, right? Moving was a part of your plan. So
Yeah, he did. And he was gone for, like, I had my son for a full year while he was in New York. Like, my son went to visit him for 6 weeks out of the summer.
Okay.
And that was the thing, like, he wanted him the entire summer.
Yeah.
I see things so differently now.
Yeah.
When you're in the situation, and especially when you have everybody else's input.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because sometimes when there's a lot of people who's involved in a situation, everybody's telling you their things, and they're all giving you advice, they're all giving you suggestions and what you should do. So sometimes, unfortunately, you're not thinking very clearly.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, there was no thinking clearly. There was a lot going on during that time. I had right before the custody battle. So the final custody battle was August of 2019. I had torn my meniscus at work April of 2019. So it's when I look back at it now, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
It was a blessing that I was out of work and I was able to focus on the custody. I was able to focus on, especially after the battle happened, like, where am I going to live? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
It's really funny how when you look back and everything aligns so perfectly and you're
Yeah.
like,
You didn't realize it at the time.
wow.
So how did your husband take the news when when the judge told you either you move to New York and regain 50-50 or stay in Alaska and you lose him?
He was devastated.
Okay.
Like, we were in the courtroom and like he put his hand on my knee and he just leaned in and said, "Don't cry here. Like, do not give them that
Yeah.
justification. Do not cry here."
Okay.
And he was in shock because part of him, like, he had played it out like, "You're exaggerating, you're being dramatic, it's
Yeah,
not going
yeah,
to be
yeah.
that bad, like, you're an amazing mother, you've done everything by the book."
Right.
I was so strict on my son's schedule, like, so strict on everything, because that's what they told you that you have to do.
Yeah.
It just didn't. So, and my ex-husband at the time, like, he didn't have kids and he just went off of, the research that I had done.
Right.
And my son was thriving. Like, if it's not broken, why fix it? Like, it's good. I really feel like he never processed what happened. He was very much an alpha male.
Okay.
He also he was controlling in a way. Not all bad, but just wanting to, as the head of the family and your wife is completely gutted on the floor and there's nothing you can do to save her. There's nothing that you can do to help, your stepson. Like,
Right.
this is out of your hands. There's nothing you can do. And I know, I know that part of him felt like a failure. I know it. He didn't have to tell me. But how do you comfort a man like that? Like, as a woman, I
Yeah.
don't know what he was feeling. I didn't know how to be okay. He just wanted me to snap out of it. Like, everything's
Right.
going to be fine. We're good. And I was destroyed. Like, what do you mean we're good? We're
Yeah.
not good at all.
Yeah, because you have to pack up all your life and then move to New York or stay in Alaska and not see your son as often.
So it was about, at this time too, I had one of my best friends from high school had passed away. So when my son was they gave me 3 days. So we had the court hearing and the judge said, "Your son is leaving in 3 days to go to New York."
Wow.
So I had 3 days.
Oh man.
3 days to try to just spill love into him and let him know that
Yeah.
this is only temporary and nobody, like a judge, nobody will keep me away from you and nobody's ever going to stop me from loving you. Like, I will be there as soon as I can. Speaking words into him, I just had no idea. Like, I've never even been to New
To New
York.
York,
I have
yeah.
no idea. I don't know what's going to happen, but
Yeah, yeah.
I'll see you soon. When he boarded the plane to go to New York, I was going back home to Kotzebue to bury one of my friends.
Oh man.
And when we got back from that trip, my husband told me that he didn't want to be married anymore,
What?
that we didn't have anything in common.
When did he discover that?
Well, this was right when we got back, and this was, I want to say,
Wait, how long had you guys been married up to that point?
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
4 years. Going on 5. And we'd had, like, I worked full time. I was also in school full time. He was very big into hunting, fishing, and of course I did, like, fishing mostly. Hunting every now and then. It's not like I want to be out hunting every weekend. That just wasn't my thing. But I did it
Yeah.
because the boys liked to. My son
Right.
loved to do it.
Yeah.
He wanted to do it. Like, if this is how I
The
get a bond
family
with
thing,
my
yeah,
family,
yeah.
then let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I love it. I'm not going to lie to you and say
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
love it, but I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to do it and just have a negative attitude. But it's not my first thing
Right.
to jump to. And at this point, my son was gone, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. He wanted to go hunting, and I said go. And it's one of those moments where you never do what I want to do. And I'm like, I have to figure out what I'm going to do
Yeah.
with my life right now. I'm not going hunting. I have to, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life? And then that's when he's like, I'm getting a place and I'm moving. I'm moving out.
Wow.
And I was still so broke from the custody battle that I just didn't even have any energy. I just cried. Just okay.
Like, what was the time spent between that, like the custody battle, then your best friend um, passed away, and then now you're losing your husband
3 weeks.
within
3
3 weeks, all of
weeks.
that happening.
Yep.
Wow.
3 weeks. It was fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine the emotional state you must have been in.
I honestly, like when I look back at it, I blacked out so much of it because it was too much. It was too much. I had we decided that we were going to sell the house, so we started to prep to sell it.
Okay.
My ex-husband at the time was in school to become a physician's assistant. So he was in school, but he just kind of left, and then I was there to close everything out. He would help with finances and stuff every now and then, but like I learned how to patch holes in the wall and how to do all of this stuff
Wow.
because I was the only one to do it. Packing up stuff, getting rid of stuff, cleaning everything. Like this is a 4-bedroom house, 3 bath, 3-car garage. Like this was a beautiful house. This
Right.
was, a $500,000 house.
Yeah, and this is after you had wiped all your savings.
Everything
Yeah,
was
with the
gone.
custody battle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything was gone. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew that like I had to get to New York. I just didn't know how I
Yeah.
was going to get there.
Yeah.
And one day I got a phone call from my son. He had a Gizmo watch. So he had like 5 people programmed that he can call. And he called and said that he was being bullied. And this day we had just had an open house, and it was my realtor and myself, and the house was empty. And it's just one of those things that you remember, like an empty house, how it echoes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he's talking about how these kids are bullying him and how he was having a rough time. And then the phone call went. It was very tragic for me because it sounded like these kids, my son was like running from these kids. He was like,
Oh
Mom, they're
wow.
chasing
He
me.
called you while it was happening.
Yeah, he
Oh
called me in the
man.
middle of it, and he was trying to go back and get his bike. And I'm like, leave your bike, just go home. But the thing is, like, where are you? Because in my mind, I'm thinking New York City. Like, I didn't know Long Island was Long Island. Like, in my head, I'm in Alaska, and I'm just thinking, like, all the flashbacks that I can have are of the crime movies that you see in New York
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
And, it's like all the dangerous stuff. And here I am, like, thinking that my son is running down the street in this city, and
Yeah.
there's these kids that are following him, trying to beat him up. And the sound of him running sounded to me like they were beating him.
Wow.
And like I have this all recorded, and which is crazy to look back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a lot, but that phone call was the phone call that was the push from God that you need to get to New York
Yeah.
and you need to do it now. There's no waiting. So
Gotcha.
this was in October. He had left the beginning of September. So it had been like not even 6 weeks.
Oh man.
And that phone call was like it for me.
So what was going through your mind when you got that call?
Why? Like, first off, I'm in Alaska.
Yeah.
You could have called your stepmother, you
Yeah.
could have called your dad, but you call me. And there's absolutely nothing I can do. It's almost like as helpless as you feel like when when that gavel hit,
Yeah.
and it's like, you don't have custody of your son. Like, you're just powerless. There's absolutely nothing you can do. This judicial system is supposed to protect me and
Yeah.
supposed to have my back, and you failed me multiple times.
Yeah.
And now here I am on the phone with my son 6 weeks, not even 6 weeks later, calling me in this situation. It almost felt like a smack in the face. I still go back, like after I listened to the recording, because I put this in my book.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, what was the purpose of that? What, other than getting me to New York then? Like, you have to go now. It was very painful. Like, my realtor at the time, I didn't know her very well. It was actually her house prior to us living there, and she was a
Really?
realtor.
Okay.
And she didn't know what had happened. She just knew that there was some kind of traumatic event. But she was there with me that day. And you know, when you just don't have to talk to somebody and you just feel the presence of their hand, her face said it all. Like, she was just a ghost, but her hand on my back was just like, there are no words that I can say to comfort you in this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
And as soon as I ended that phone call with my son, I hit the ground and I just cried, because what else are you going to do? Like, I'd used her cell phone to call his dad. And of course, you're exaggerating. He's fine. I know where he's at. And I'm just like, I'm on the phone with him right now. He's
Yeah.
not. He's not fine. But there's nothing you can do. And that night, she just, it was one mother to another mother just comforting me. She didn't know me. She didn't have to know me in that point. She heard what had happened.
Right.
And it's something that you don't wish upon any mother. You don't wish upon anybody. You don't want somebody to feel that type of fear and just powerless when your child's involved.
Right.
So that she was a big, that night, you almost expect, like, I expected a phone call, like, he's safe, everything's fine. I didn't get that.
Nothing at all.
No, it's that co-parenting is, it's easy to co-parent when everything's going okay.
Yeah.
But as soon as it's not convenient, that disappears pretty fast. And even though, like technically you won, bro. Like, you got your son in New York, you won.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that he called mommy instead of calling,
Yeah.
his dad. And now I know that his son's out in the streets somewhere, not close to the house, because I was on the phone with him for 11 minutes before you found him.
Wow.
11 minutes.
Okay.
And at this point, he was 9.
That's huge. Yeah.
So in my mind, New York City, like, the worst part of New York City that you can think of. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't
I mean,
know.
there's so many different scenarios that's going through your head.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm in Anchorage, Alaska, where moose cross the street. This is like, the worst vision possible
Possible.
was
Yeah.
going through my
Gotcha.
head. So after that, I just knew, but it's so funny because I'm talking about 2 days after that call, I found out that I could cash out my retirement.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. And I had told my ex-husband, like, I'm leaving. And he was like, well, what are you going to do? And I'm like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, you've already left. You've checked out, bro. Like,
So the divorce hadn't been finalized. At that
no.
point. Okay.
At this point, he had just moved out. Like, he had
Okay.
just moved out, and I have to figure out. And I had just told him I don't have time to deal with this. Like, this is going to have to be on the back burner
Sure.
until
Of
I'm with
course.
my son
Yeah.
again. Like, if you want to do whatever you need to do, I'll
Yeah.
sign whatever. But I'm just like, right now, we're not doing this.
Yeah. So do you think this whole thing, or his sentiment, or the way he was feeling about the marriage, is something that he's been feeling for a while, and then uses the opportunity of the custody thing that went left, and then to kind of like put it out there?
I don't know. I just feel like his ego was really hurt. I feel like his ego was hurt, and I feel like it was just a traumatic response. Because he didn't process it. We're talking
Okay.
about, like, this was 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks max after the custody battle. And during that time, he also had to watch me bury one of my best friends.
Right.
There's a lot going on. But in my head, I'm just like, you took vows.
Yeah.
You took vows.
So you think that's what broke him? The custody loss and watching you having to deal with your best friend that just passed away.
I think he didn't know how to cope. And it was easier to run than to stay. Because if you stay, you're going to have to fight those demons, and you're going to have to, everything that I had told you, that the courts are not, it's all about who you know and how much money you have.
Yeah.
Oh, you're exaggerating.
Right. And unfortunately, it happened at such a bad timing, right? Because you're in the middle of this, custody thing, and you're trying to figure out what you're going to do for your son, and then having received that phone call from your son being in New York, being bullied. So I don't know if you really had time to process whether or not you want to try and work on the marriage, or try counseling or anything like that, because there was so much for you to figure out at this point. And then the fact that he's, moving out, it's almost like he gave up on your situation already.
At that point, it kind of like, I feel like people, when they show you who they are, you have to believe them. And when you know the type of mother that I am, how dedicated, how devoted I am to my son, and he was 4 years old when I got married.
Yeah.
But coming into this relationship, you know that he takes priority, period.
Yeah.
So just because he's in another state doesn't mean that I'm going to stop being his mother.
Of course not.
So I honestly, I don't know where his head was. I just couldn't assume that he was devastated. And instead of dealing with it, he just did the easy part.
Gotcha. Looking back at it, do you wish that you had done, I don't know, things differently, like maybe recommending counseling or suggesting counseling to help him process his emotions? Or...
So here's the thing. So I ended up leaving the end of November 2019. I left. We were still talking at that time. We were still talking. It was just weird, to say the least.
Okay.
I get to New York, and I'm staying in this cottage out. I'm like 10 minutes away from my son's dad and stepmom. But as soon as I step in New York, I have 50-50 custody, right?
Yeah.
So did I tell my son's father, that I'm moving there? No. I just showed up, because he knows, or at least he hopes, she's not just going to come.
Right.
She's not going to be here that fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
There you were.
Oh, I'm here. And I want 50-50. We're going back to a week on, week off.
Okay.
And that's what happened. We went back to a week on, week off. And then that was November. Then we fast forward to March, right before the shutdown, COVID.
Yeah.
But in Alaska, they had already started shutting things down. My ex-husband ended up flying to New York. And it was like that scare factor that the world could be ending, and I don't want to lose you. But when he showed up, I got a phone call. He's like, I'm about to board a plane to JFK. I'm in Seattle. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding? Are you, what? Seriously?
Yeah.
Did you hear what just happened? The husband called her after my man just moved out, walked out on her. Now she was left by herself to sell the house in Alaska by herself. Now she moved to New York because her son's father had already moved to New York. Now she had no choice. Can you imagine receiving a phone call from your son telling you that he's being bullied and you are all the way across the country? What would you do? Let me know in the comments. What would you do? And now COVID is upon us. I guess, the husband is kind of scared because he doesn't know what's happening. And now he's afraid that the world is coming to an end. Now he wants his wife back. Do you think that's what it was? But my man called her and said, hey, I'm boarding a plane right now because we need to talk. I'm coming to New York. What do you think is going to happen? Well, in order to find out, you got to come back for part 2. Listen, join us next week for part 2 as we continue to dive into this crazy story of Erin and her son and her husband, ex-husband, I should say. But listen, just check it out. All right. So don't forget to join us next week for the for part 2 of the of this wonderful interview that we're having. And remember, guys, live every day as if it is your last day, because one day it will be. I'm JR. Thanks for watching 2.0. I'll see you next time.